What does the incoming Trump administration mean for your employment law matter? Hi, I'm Tom Spiggle at the Spiggle Law Firm. We represent people who have been fired or afraid they might be in Virginia, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. So love him or hate him, Donald Trump is definitely going to make an impact on the employment law world. So what does that mean if you have a case, you're considering one right now? Well, my guess is probably the first 6 months or so, probably not much is going to be different. After that point, I do think we will see some changes. Certainly, we will see a more conservative tilt at the EEOC. They will still have, still be bringing claims. You're still going to be filing charges there. But we're going to see a lot less enforcement action from the EEOC. And by that, I mean, filing lawsuits against companies. It won't affect your average person who has an employment law claim, because facts are that even when the EEOC is aggressive, for most people, they're not going to take your case and litigate it. Long term, again, I think we will see some claims that are favored. Religious discrimination, pregnancy discrimination, kind of family responsibilities may be one. I think we'll see less of an emphasis on LGBTQ rights. We'll see less of an emphasis and maybe even some hostility towards DEI programs and things of that nature. I think long term, those are kind of the differences we might see in terms of how the EEOC is pursuing those claims. I think union matters, we're going to see a restriction in rights to unionize. The National Labor Relations Board will again take a conservative tilt and will take a very restrictive view. Also, as the Trump appointees on the judiciary, take the bench, he's going to, of course, appoint more conservative judges. That doesn't mean they will always rule against employees in employment law matters, but as a general rule, they tend to be more favorable to management. But the truth is that's already the case in some federal circuits, and it's difficult for employees to win cases. So that landscape may not change tremendously. If you believe Project 2025, and if they're going to enact that, there are some claims that they want to get rid of, including broad rights to overtime, get rid of what's called disparate impact claims, which are claims that allow you to bring a case if one group of people is treated differently within an organization than another one. For instance, if all women are treated differently, the company has a policy that is affecting one group more prevalently than the others, those kind of claims will be disfavored. Also, federal sector, if you work for the federal government, it's no surprise they've not made secret their desire to limit the federal workforce. I think that's going to be easier said than done. I'm sure there will be some of it, but there are some pretty powerful unions there and some employee agreements that are going to be tough to change. It doesn't mean that they won't, but that's going to be a longer slog. But we're going to see a lot happening in federal sector. But, I would not lose hope if you have one of these claims. Courts are still taking them. The EEOC's, still going to be available to file charges. I don't see that changing. And keep in mind that there are state claims. So there's my 2 cents. Again, not meant to be a political post. Love them or hate them. It's going to be a wild ride in employment law and other policy areas.